Okay, I'm just taking the first bolts out. They're 14 millimeter. Use a hammer to loosen them up. And now we're just taking them all out. See if we can figure out how to take this thing off. It's got to crack apart somehow. This is stuck on real good. Doesn't want to come off. Well, yeah, it eventually comes apart. It looks like some kind of roll pin jammed in there. Alright, working on this, pulling this darn thing out, and you can see this piece here has got to come off of this shaft, otherwise I can't get this off. And there's this darn roll pin in here that's got to come out. I just want to get a picture so I can see how it goes back on, because it's probably going to take a year and a day to do this. That's it for now. Let's see the other side. There's the pin, which doesn't want to come out. Okay, so after a lot of banging and pounding, I finally got the pin out. There's the hole where the pin was, and this piece fits on like this. I just got done banging this off that shaft. So that's out, and here's the roll pin that was so stubborn. Took about 40 minutes. But just hammering, eventually it came out. So, never give up. Alright, now we're going to take this whole back end piece off and see what that looks like. This piece won't come off unless I take this piece off here, because it's catching, and I don't know why that's there, but it's got to come off. This is a 12 millimeter bolt here, so two of them, and alright, that's good enough. And now, magically, this thing pops off. You know what's nice is it's nice and clean inside. I don't see any kind of metal filings or anything like that. No kind of dirt. Nice and clean. Alright, so this goes over here, and we'll have to cover that with something. And now we can see what it looks like here, this looks really, really pretty. Can't really tell on this screen, but nice and clean. So the next piece to come off is this section here, and we held on by these bolts all the way around, which I believe are yeah, that's a 14 millimeter. So those are coming off next. All right. So these bolts, yeah, first bolt was extra stubborn. This is very tight for some reason. There's this one that sets up high, so got to remember that one. These two here, and on the other side, on the top of the transmission, oh, I can't see anything here, it's too dark. You have this bolt, and then this bolt's got little accoutrements on it, so we'll need to remember to put that back there. In here, one more bolt sitting up high like this one is here, so that's got to come out, and it's got little bits of stuff here. So there's this little plastic thing to hold the cables for the sensors. Alright, there's that. Bolts are all out. So let's see if we can crack this thing open. It's not gonna come easy. All right, got a little space here, and just sharpen this chisel. So oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Ugh. All right, let's see. This has got to come out somehow. But, all right, I don't know what's going on. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. It's silver goop, which looks like ground up aluminum. Ugh. That does not look good at all. Ground up little sparkly flecks of metal. So let's see, there's something, maybe these sensors need to come out. Okay, that's some sort of sensor, not sure what. Hopefully it still works. I don't think I needed to take that out. I have another one up here, which I'm not sure what that is, but maybe I'll take that out too. Looks just like the other one. So this has a red end on it. The red end goes on top. The one with the black end goes on underneath it. Red on top, the long one, and the black one is a little shorter. It goes underneath. So they look like the exact same thing. Alright, so I don't know what I'm doing. Ugh. And why this doesn't come out. In all the videos, this piece lifts right out. But this transmission is different because it's caught. Let's see if I can get the light down in here. Or here. Remove this cover so I could see what was going on. You can see right back in here, this won't lift out because this giant round piece back here is blocking it, and that doesn't lift out either. This giant piece here, which is locked in place pretty well. So this whole piece has to come out with this section, but it won't lift out. It's caught somewhere and I can't tell where. So that's the new challenge. And somehow this shift lever comes out along with it. So it may be the shift lever's caught in there somewhere, but I can't actually see it. I got this off. So the deal is there's this opening here. You take that cover off. The shifter comes out, and that has to slide freely through so you can pull this whole transfer case off. And here's the piece. This is what was catching, and you notice here there's a little hole for a set screw. So you're going to look through this opening here. As the shaft goes through, there's a set screw. Here's the screw, and that goes in this little hole here. And there's a piece of something in there, which is now out of place. See it lying there? So I'm going to pull that out and show you how that fits together. But it's all inside of here. That it has to be, the screw's got to be pulled out, and then the shaft comes loose and this whole transfer case slides off. Here's the piece that fits on this shifter lever. And it fits on like this. This comes over, and this hole lines up with here, and then that set screw holds that in place. So you can see it back in there. This slides up underneath. Here's the hole for this shifter lever. So this slides up. It actually has to come. You can see that's not lined up properly. That goes through there, continues on. You can see where that set screw sits in there, and those holes are lined up. So now, the hole lined up with the that piece, and then this little set screw goes in there. Let me put that in. Somehow. Oh. Alright, so this is in finally. You can see how this moves up and down, and it has very little range of motion here. And from the bottom, it's that same lever here. Just moves back and forth. And that's what controls these little doohickeys here, which then shift the gears. Now, I'm going to take a look at this spot right in here, because in here we have all kinds of nasty goop. Oh, that's ugly. And that's actually grease with bits of metal in it. Oh, there's some more. This is really ugly. Alright, so now we can split this case apart and see what's going on inside. Take these bolts off. This piece is coming off, so we got to remember where it goes. All these bolts out, which I think are all the bolts that hold this thing in, or hold these two halves together. But notice that we have this and this spanning the two halves. So this has got to come out, which means that this has got to come off, and I don't know how to do that yet, so we're going to try to figure that out now. In the process of examining this, I noticed that we have one chipped tooth right here, which that's too bad. That's fifth gear, which is not giving me any trouble. And since there's not a whole lot of torque on this fifth gear, I think I'm just going to ignore that broken tooth. Anyway, I'm going to try to get this thing off. We have this little pin in here that holds this in, so that's got to be driven out. And I'm using a drill bit because I don't have drive pins. So and that drill bit's cheaper than the drive pin. So anyway, that's getting popped out, and then this whole piece will come right off. We get the first pin out, and it's actually a pin inside a pin. So there's a second pin, and I'm driving that out now. Again with another little bit bigger drill bit. But it's going the other direction, but it's coming out, so let's see what happens. So here are the two pins. One goes inside the other. I don't know why they do it. I guess that's the double protection. Now we're gonna knock this piece off. See how hard that is. This is that piece. The synchronizer for fifth gear and reverse is out. Well, synchronizer, whatever that is, the shift, the thing that shifts it. And what's going on? We got these little, oh great, this little piece here that fell out of this space right here, and I don't know if it's supposed to fall out, and I think we have another space just like it here. I didn't notice anything falling out, and there's another space right here, which is hard to see in this darn light, but I think something else fell out. I'm gonna have to look for it. Well, anyway, I only found one of those keys. I don't know what the other two slots are for, although the key fits in all three slots, so maybe there's only one key. Next step is, I guess we're going to pull out these bolts, but this, I think this has got to come off too. It doesn't want to come off. But these 4 bolts definitely have to come out. Let's see. How the heck that's supposed to work? To demonstrate how truly stupid I am. So, I split this apart, but I forgot to take out the throwout bearing here, and so therefore, as I split it apart, the nose here split. This is goes to this half, and it's busted off, and this piece busted off the other half. Now, I do have this sleeve for the throwout bearing, so if I can reattach those pieces somehow, and we put that sleeve on, maybe I can salvage this, because I still have the space where the bearing sits is still intact, so maybe I can make this work. So when I went in, noticed right away this the main drive shaft here. We had this broken piece that was in here, and here's the drive shaft bearing, that front bearing for the seal. This sits right here, and that's off. And now we have this bearing, which comes off. Let's get that off. And this may want to replace that, I don't know. And here, well, this is first gear, reverse, second gear, and then we have third gear and fourth gear, and fourth gear is where the problem is, but it doesn't look like the gear itself is any damage, so I'm assuming it's my synchronizer here. So we're gonna have to disassemble all this, and here's fifth gear, which hangs out the back, and on the inside, see where we had this crack piece, we have this bearing here, which is all busted. So obviously that's got to be replaced. This is all broken apart. So this is what's got to come apart, And let's see if we can replace that. The synchronizers are, it feels awfully loose here. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a problem or not, but we'll take a closer look at those. Okay, repairing the nose on this case. I use this JB Weld, and it's pretty straightforward how to mix that up and use it. And here's the 1/2. I had to prop this up so that this doesn't move around, but it looks like it's doing pretty well. It's been a couple hours, and the other half is over here, and this piece also looks very good, and no troubles there. So we'll hopefully by tomorrow this will be all set up, and well, when I'm ready to put it all together, put it together. Okay, it's been a couple of days for this JB Weld. Hardened up pretty good. This feels pretty sturdy, and since there's really no force on this to speak of, and when it's operational, hopefully this is not a problem. So I'll have to sand this down just a little bit here and here, and then so those pieces match up nicely. Here, a little sand here, but all the force is in this direction by the clutch lever against the throwout bearing, which goes against the clutch, and then so there should be no force in this direction or that way to snap that off. Anyway, I'm hoping.